Welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Hour podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's a Wednesday when we're recording this, but you're going to be listening to this on a Thursday, most likely. So, hope you're having a lovely Thursday. How are you, bro? How are you getting on?
I'm good, bro. I'm very, very good. Been chilling. Had a rest day today. Just been working and from stuff from home. Actually trying to get productive rest days out now at the minute. Training's sort of catching up to me a little bit, so I'm doing my most to do the least I can on a rest day
Yeah,
and actually
I'm buried, mate. Oh,
actually
I'm
recover.
honestly,
Um,
yeah.
no, it's been good. I'm chilling, man. How are you?
Yeah, mate, great. Had my pre-workout 11:30, and now I'm having my post-workout at 6:15. Brilliant. So, always good
Intermittent
though, mate.
fasting. Intermittent fasting. That's
Oh
all.
yeah, bro. Having that nice block where I'm just, training, just going hyper and brilliant. But good, mate. Really, really good. I've got Prague. I'm going to Prague on Friday to see God in person, aka Chris Bumstead. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Martin though, mate, because I saw him compete in the Arnold's in 2022. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
see the actual difference there, mate. I was looking through my phone and seeing how he's looking. So I've got that sort of visual
You'll
like
also get to see Big Jack Richardson.
yeah, mate, he's competing in that show. Sean Clarida, Horse MD. Mate, Rafa's not doing it. Akeem's not doing it. People are saying that Urs might be doing it. Like, he's been a
What, in
special
Oakland?
guest there as well. Yeah, mate. People are saying that Urs might be doing it. He put on his Instagram today that he went like, "What if?" and he tagged the Prague, but he's there anyway because
Yeah,
he's already like a special guest. I think he's doing like some special posing. So we'll
yeah.
see. He might do a little. But usually, when they release what athletes are doing the show, I think there's 20 guys there. They usually end off the athlete registration, but they might do a little one off, mate. You never know.
Hey,
But we're good, bro. We're going to be, like I said, going to Prague, which will be nice.
how long are you
The
there
show's
for?
on the.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, bro.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That is a madness.
What happened?
I have no clue, mate. Sorry about that. Don't know
How
what happened.
how long are you in Prague for?
4 days, bro. Friday to Monday. So I'm being a tourist whole of Friday, whole of Saturday, and I'm doing it for half a Sunday as well. And the show's Sunday evening, so it works out pretty well. I
So,
wanted to get there Friday, nice and early, get a work night, get ticked off as always, and spend the whole day, spend a couple of days actually being a tourist and going around there, which would be pretty cool. So best of both worlds, really. So cannot wait for that. But other than that, bro, we're just doing the same old, mate. Very, very good. Busy, but all's good, mate. All is good and well.
good, bro. Good. We got some questions and some topics and shit
We've
to
got
go
some Q&As, mate. Question and answers.
from the Instagrams.
So,
Um,
mate, you
go.
go through.
Okay. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I've got a couple just one-off fairly like easy ones to go through, so I'll go through those to start with.
Hmm.
Start light.
Start
Jake
like,
Paul versus Mike Tyson's this weekend.
Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, mental. I know it's stupid. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be a legit fight, or do you think it's rigged?
I didn't even think of that, mate. It wouldn't surprise me if it was rigged because you got to think of the trajectory of probably. This is what I'm just thinking from an outside. I don't even really follow it, mate, but
Mm.
you got to think of the trajectory that Jake Paul's on in terms of how much he's got to give, and then Mike Tyson must be nearly 60.
It's up there, yeah. I think he's mid 50s. But yeah,
So you got. I wouldn't. I don't know, mate. I would say it's probably rigged. But
because
no,
I don't follow boxing like crazy, but I do follow it a little bit. But I've seen a few things going around with people kind of stipulating that there's something in the clause where Mike Tyson isn't allowed to knock out Jake Paul. So if there's that in the fight, then it's like I don't really fucking believe any of it then.
what is going on? Oh, It wouldn't surprise me, mate, with how everything's going, bro, in terms of just it wouldn't surprise me if something's rigged about it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the thing is when he's come from nowhere, Jake, in terms of boxing. He's not a boxer. Um, and all of a sudden he's beating, well, he's fighting all these like ex-pros and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it's just I really don't like him. I think he's a fucking bellend. I saw in one of the interviews, he was like, if I
Bro,
didn't have boxing, I'd be dead.
bro,
Well,
are we actually recording right now?
yeah.
That's mad.
What?
Sorry,
What's
mate.
going on your one?
It doesn't even say recording on mine. I
It
just thought it
doesn't.
always
It
does,
does on
but it never
mine.
does.
You're
Mate,
good.
that's mate, carry on. I'm good. That just shows you how spangled I am. Brilliant. Carry-
One of the interviews Jake did, he was like, "Oh, if I didn't have boxing, I'd either be dead or in prison." And it's like, and then it showed a clip of him, and it was like Jake before boxing, and it was him on fucking Disney Channel. It's like, mate, you're a millionaire. Shut the fuck up. Um, so yeah, I don't really support it, but I just want Mike Tyson to fucking flatten him just for the fun of it. But I don't think he
Do you
will.
reckon it's like he'll flatten him, then he can't knock him out, and then he'll knock him out, making it out like this big thing that he came back from?
Yeah, yeah.
I bet they'll big it up to be something that it's not, mate.
Well,
At the end of
this
the
is this is the first ever fight that they're streaming. They're streaming it on Netflix.
day,
Yeah, so you can watch it
mate,
on.
I'm so glad I don't follow any of this stuff, mate. Like genuinely, like streaming it on Netflix. What about 3 a.m. probably our time, right?
Yeah, it's in America, so it'd be. I think it
Oh, mate.
starts at 1 a.m. UK time, so they'll probably be fighting about 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate.
I'm not.
I'll
I'm not getting up. I'll see it in the morning when I wake up.
That's mental. Yeah, I think it's probably got some clause in there, most likely. But there's definitely a clause in there for it to be
For
the
sure.
way it is.
For sure.
Um, yeah, I think I'm going to go for Jake Paul.
To win,
Yeah,
I kind of want to put a 10 on it.
I would like to. I would like Mike Tyson to win, but I think Jake Paul will win.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's mental, mate. Mental.
I didn't even realize he was. What's going on?
That was the
Anyway,
only non-bodybuilding question I got, so I thought I'd do that one first.
yeah, ask us the bodybuilding. Let's get into none of this Disney guy. Mate, imagine him fighting him his prime, Mike Tyson.
He'd die. He would
He,
die.
I think he actually would die.
Yeah, you'd kill him easily.
I think he
Right.
would.
Bad habits in clients that they don't realize are bad habits.
Oh, I would say justifying why they're doing something. So, for example, I'm obviously I know clients like to sort of like voice their opinion in terms of, okay, I'm doing this today, mate, just to get some clarity in terms of what they're doing. That's fine. But some people stress so much about these little things where, mate, like just go and do it. That's fine. But sometimes it's like, I'm doing this, mate, because of this, and this, and this, and this, and then this happened, and then if that happens, I'll do this instead, and then if that happens and it doesn't go right, and then I'll do this instead, and I'm like, bro,
Chill.
just chill out, mate.
Yeah.
Just do that, and you'll be fine. And that's what I try and get a lot out of my coaching, mate, in terms of just, okay, if you're doing this, do this, and if not, do that. That's absolutely fine. But some people get in their own heads, which I completely understand because I've been there where if a plan is not absolutely perfect, I will literally, my mind will just blow. And I'm like, what? Why isn't it perfect? If it doesn't go perfect, then my day is ruined. And then I'm not going to optimize my progress. And then my scale weight might be up 5 pounds. And I don't want it to go up 5 pounds. But then you're probably going to increase in just in terms of the more stress that you build. So I think habits in terms of sometimes overthinking stuff, which in the moment might be a big thing, but looking back like a week later, you're thinking, why did I even stress about that?
Yeah. I don't think I can think of one specifically. Like,
It's pretty hard.
it's a difficult one because I think a lot of the bad habits all kind of fall into one. I feel like you could easily like put a massive umbrella over a lot of the bad habits being like one reason.
For
Um,
sure. But bad habits are easily like rectifiable. So the bad habits are like learned behaviors. So the reason why somebody maybe might not be able to stick to a diet on a Saturday, is because they're so used to going out on a Saturday, or like they might have, for example, mate, I would happily admit, like 2 years ago, mate, I would think I've got a leg, and I've got a leg day or a really hard day in terms of training. I'd always have like a leg day or a posterior day or a density day because I don't have enough muscle. And I'd love an off plan afterwards. I'd love an off plan afterwards. Love it. And then when I went to dieting, I was there like the first Saturday, I was there like, oh, I'm not having an off plan. It's like a learned behavior that I've built over this period of time. And then I'd be like, why haven't I got an off plan? Well, I'm in a diet, mate. That's the reason. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm thinking, I'm getting annoyed myself because I'm thinking I want an off plan. But this is what the habits is. And then you start stressing about it. But that can be correlated to other things as well. People that aren't in a diet phase and they go, I'm going out. I went out in Manchester last time. I went and had this meal. I don't know why I said Manchester, could be anywhere. I had this meal, I gained this much. Okay, so I might have a little bit more next time. Next thing you know, mate, weight spikes up like 2.5 pounds more than what I did last time. And they'll go, well, I only did this different. Like I did cardio and oh no, I might, so what I mean? It's like people like, it's all right, mate.
Overanalyze, overanalyze.
Yeah, it's like analysis by paralysis, isn't it? It's like literally, it's like looking into things way too much to the point where you stress yourself out.
Yeah,
And that's from like learned behaviors in terms of like who you look up to in the industry,
yeah.
like who you're looking at in terms of like some people might look at people like I don't know, Cuba, just come straight to my head, mate. Nails everything. I could be like that, but I choose not to. But he does. Brilliant. He has clients that look up to him in terms of I want to nail everything. But then you might get somebody who is a little bit more nails everything, has a nice time away, and the next thing you know, they're having that balance. So it's just fun to find that, but just you know, don't over analyze everything.
Agreed. I would
But
agree.
you find that habits are learned behaviors. Like, but it's just understanding that the client has learned behaviors and then trying to sort of be like, mate, it's all right that you think like this. Because they go, why am I thinking like this? It's all right that you think like this, depending on what phase you're in. Just got to work around it. It's all good.
All good. Easy. It is easy to kind of rectify these types of things. Like,
Mhm.
obviously depends how far gone you are with it, but it's not set in stone, that behavior, not at all.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And it's like, this is where coaching is just more than just like, as you know, mate, like a training program. Like you've got to actually like psychologically benefit clients as well. Where you put the point where I like to give my guys and females a plan of action so they know exactly what they're doing, but give them not much pressure. So this is what I would do as a general consensus. If things change, you can do this as well. That's fine. So it's just making them have a good relationship with the whole process of bodybuilding, mate. Understanding that they can go out, they can enjoy themselves. You nailed everything. It's all good. One meal out of 37, 38, 39, 40 meals that you might have over the course of a week isn't going to ruin and detriment your progress, which at one point, mate, I would think that it would.
Mhm.
So it's just understanding that.
Yeah. Go on, do you want
Let's,
to put up one of your ones?
Mhm. How would you manage training towards the back end of a prep? Talking from somebody who I believe has just finished prep. So it's
Right,
given
okay.
me,
What, so from the end point of prep onwards or from like
so like, are you saying like towards the back end of prep, how
okay.
would you manage training? So maybe like the past, like last, what, 3, 4 weeks? How would you manage your training?
Right, I was gonna say I've got two opinions. I don't. It's one opinion, but there's 2 points to it. So it's I think you 100% shouldn't take your foot off the gas in regards to intensity. I think the what built the muscle keeps the muscle, and it brings a completely different look if you can train fucking hard all the way through. That being said, in the same breath, you do need to be responsible in regards to recovery. If you're not
Mhm.
recovering and you're putting your body under too much, it can cause the opposite effect of where your body isn't going to respond to stuff. Um, Leg training, slightly different. I think that you should probably be careful with your knees. Well, if you have issues with your knees, but I think it's definitely a time where it can start issues with your knees. Um,
Mhm.
Minimal body fat around the joint, leaving your knees and elbows and wrists and every fucking joint you've got open for for injury, open for something to go wrong, and there's a little bit less cushioning around the muscles, around the joints. You can back off on weight a little bit, but I would definitely keep the intensity there. I think the intensity builds and keeps density.
Hmm.
And it can provide a lot more of like a drier, grainier look to your muscle, in my opinion. For example, leading into the back end of Elliot's prep for the first timers show, intensity was taken down a notch towards the end of the prep, and he looked a little bit softer, not too noticeable. But then in the back end of his prep for this show, the Open, the final few weeks, he had his training partner with him, running him through his training, making sure he was still keeping that intensity there.
Hmm.
Way better, way better,
Yeah.
higher,
No,
grainy.
nah. Hmm. I agree. I am an advocate of keeping intensity high, and then obviously when you are getting to like a close proximity of a show where you're starting to have your last leg day, and then you get into that point where you're genuinely manipulating food to get a certain look. So when we start maybe like fat loading or actually trying to drive flatness, our ability to recover because we're going to be having a little bit less food, maybe is going to be obviously harder to recover from. So then you got to think of exercise selection as well. So, for example, if you're doing a free weight barbell press or a dumbbell press, I would probably opt for something that's going to be within a fixed plane, like a machine press, or I would look to have like a Smith press, for example. So you're working within a fixed plane there, so you're causing less axial loading. So essentially, like having to not worry about this on a dumbbell press. It's all in a fixed plane, so joint stability is going to therefore be better. So exercise selection, exercise order as well, like you said there, mate. For example, if I'm doing like a leg day and I've got a squat variation, I might usually have it in the off season. I might do a seated hamstring curl, then go straight into a Cybex hack. But what I might do afterwards is I might do adductor, then I might do seated hamstring curl, then I might do leg extension, then I might do hack squat. Because if I'm putting it towards the back end of the session, you'll find that not only from a physical perspective, where your external loading is going to be less, but you're still going to get quite a lot from it, is going to be better. So you're not exposing yourself to a lot of load. But also as well, mate, how many times in prep, like psychologically, where you've done your hack squat or you've done like a heavy movement, and then you got to think, oh, I've got all this to do now as well. Like it's actually quite nice where you finish on your main movement and go, I'm actually done now. People in prep will get me on that. People, if you've been there, you know, like even like your push days, like you finish your second heavy press, and now you got to think of, I've got to do my arms at the end. I might have some delts at the end. It is obviously you're not going to do that with pressing because obviously it's not as like systemically fatiguing as legs, but you might have a hip hinge on like a pull day, which might go from a barbell RDL to a dumbbell RDL where your loading is different, but you might put it towards like the middle part of the session. Like you have your rack pull towards the end. I know you're in off season, but how good does it feel like lifting that and then going, oh, that's the end now? Imagine doing that at the start of a session. So from a
Yeah, yeah.
psychological perspective, that's going to help. But also look at recovery. I think people go, okay, now you're instantly in a diet phase. You can't do drop sets. You can't do rest pauses. When in actual fact, depending on the person and how hard they train, if I'm having Connor in a session and he's doing one set of leg or two sets of leg press and I'm bringing that down, like you said there, mate, like I would probably opt for maybe like a leg press, then maybe like a rest pause set.
Mhm.
So it's like we're still accumulating a little bit more than one set. We'll see how we recover. You can't recover from a set and a rest pause. We'll go down to one set. So instead of just going straight from two sets to one set, I would try and bridge that gap a little bit and go, okay, can we try a little bit of a rest pause? Can we try a drop set? See if we recover? No, okay, we'll bring it down to one set and go from there. So not only how you feel physically, but also how you feel psychologically. And that's why I think it's really important as well, like having a coach that's been there and done it as well. Like that's the difference in my opinion. Like people say, "Oh yeah, if your coach hasn't been there and done it," it's like those little intricate details, mate, about how you feel in your sessions, how you feel in your day to day, how psychologically you're going to feel in your sessions. So, but also as well, exercise selection, exercise order, and your ability to recover from your sessions as well. And your volume is probably going to have to be a lot less than what you actually think. Like, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't, but never, ever, ever drop the intensity unless you are physically doing stuff to change the look and drive a certain look that you're having. So if you're within like 9 to 10 days out and you might have your last leg day, from there you might start dropping the intensity ever so slightly a little bit, but not much at all, mate. It's obviously towards the back end, you're probably going to be having some pump sessions, but I wouldn't change the intensity unless it was for that reason.
Definitely not. I think it's
Wow.
I think
Feel
it's
like I
very
just chatted a
important.
lot there. Sorry.
That's good. I think it's very important. I think it can alter the look a lot.
Mate, for sure. For sure. I believe so as well. Like if I get my, I've never done that before, but I believe that if you, and as well, like, this is where it's quite broy, but you get all the pros saying, oh yeah, if I change my training, get this different look. They've been there and done that, mate. And you get coaches saying the same thing as well, mate. They've got more anecdotal evidence for years of coaching. And I get the same I get the same thing where if I probably get my clients to drop off their intensity, mate, they might get this sort of like not the same look as what we've tried to be driving for the past 20 weeks, 18, 16 weeks of dieting. Why change your training? Like what built it is going to keep it.
Mhm.
I do believe that. And yeah, I believe so massively. So,
Definitely. I agree.
but yeah, great question. And we
Very
can talk
good.
about, we can talk about, I spoke about my story, mate, to be fair. Follow me on Instagram. But how you should do it post is probably the exact same, but just reversing out of it. So again, exercise selection, making sure you're not burying yourself on doing a deadlift straight away. Because what happens, mate? I'm going to use you as an example.
Yeah.
Your knees on a Cybex, mate. You can Cybex hack seven, like what, six and a half, seven plates. Probably not the smartest of ideas to do post prep.
No.
So now obviously your knees are all right, thank God. But do you know what I mean? It's more the fact of like having that maybe as your last exercise where your potential to load it is differently, but also as well, tempo manipulation. Can we slow it down so we're getting more from the eccentric? Your exposure to loading is going to be less, pause and lengthen range, these different things, mate. So I would look at exercise selection and then slowly working your compounds towards the front end of the session. So keeping your sessions the same, your ability to recover when you have more fat and fluid around the joints. So therefore you can replace that leg extension, which is first, and replace the hack squat, and then put the hack squat first, then the leg extension afterwards. Perfect, brilliant. Then look at obviously how much volume you can handle from a week to week perspective. And then obviously look at how you are feeling psychologically as well. That's why I always ask my clients, how are you feeling in your sessions? Do you feel like you can give a little bit more? Do you feel like you're buried? How do you actually feel? And they go, towards that set, I probably felt pretty buried. And then next, it's like more junk than anything, where it's like, oh, I feel like I'm not doing like effective work. So it's always good to know how the pumps are, but also how they're feeling as well. So that's what I do there.
Yeah. I think that's the best way you can do it. I think, yeah, with post show, I don't, to be fair, I've never done a natty post show, but like personally, so I can't really speak on that. But the feeling of getting the strength back is an excitement. If you genuinely love training and it's sort of an excitement that you can't control, um, and then that's where the injuries happen.
Hmm.
With me, with the hack squat, like I went from towards the middle to back end of my prep, I didn't do any sort of squatting movement because my knees hurt, and then that however many weeks, I think it was like 7 or 8 weeks without squatting, my knees were good again. And then as soon as that post show was done, I was like, cool, my knees are fine. I can squat. Hack
Hmm.
squat went straight back in. Within 2 weeks, I was up to 6 plates on the hack squat. And then on the third week, my knees were gone again. And
Yeah.
you just get excited. You need to control that excitement and really hold yourself back. I've been trying to hammer that into to Elliot now. I said, look, take this first like week post show away from the gym. Go in and do your arms and your delts and pump. You utilize the food, have fun with it. But I said to him, I was like, do not train with your training partner for a week, please. Because
Yeah. But it's
you
true though,
will
mate.
go in and just try it. Because you want to go in and do that again.
Mhm.
Your
And
body's not ready for it. It really isn't.
I know, mate. And this is why it's being adherent to your coach.
Mm.
If your coach has done something, I mean, I change their rep ranges, so I might get them to do like a high rep set first, then a low rep set. So again, their ability to expose themselves to more load, they're going into the heavier set a little bit more fatigued. These little things, mate. Okay, it's like the minute details that make the massive differences because you're so eager to improve. Like it's all gone now. Like you're the whole, especially when you have someone that can shift that mindset really quickly of being like a bodybuilder in terms of like, okay, visually, how do I look? But now the goal is to grow more tissue. So I'm a performance-based athlete. I want to do more. It's okay, how can we make sure we still have that goal, but doing it in the right manner? Okay, like, are we going to do a massive deadlift or RDL straight away? No. But can we do it at the back end of the session? Perfect, that's fine. But can we work in different rep ranges, different tempos? I would highly recommend like those little details that people just skim over. Yeah, mate, we'll still work in the 5 to 7 rep range for a hip hinge. Yeah, brilliant, mate. Thank you. I've got no body fat on me, and my ability to recover is absolutely horse. Appreciate it. And now I'm injured.
Who says
Brilliant.
he'll slip in a disc and then you're
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like and then it's these little details, mate. Like that makes them honestly. That's why I still keep checking frequency high post show. That's why I want to know how they're feeling in those sessions, so I can make changes based on what they're telling me. Be adherent to your coach, and you'll make the most of it. Because if you can be safe and load the muscle of what you're trying to do safely, but still try and train how you want to train, get the balance of both. You set yourself up for a perfect off season. Don't be too eager to the point where you're detrimenting it by injuring yourself.
bingo. I don't think we could have answered that question in any more detail, to be fair,
Yeah, that's
without overcomplicating it.
yeah. Hopefully we didn't overcomplicate it, but
Um, right. Why is conditioning standard at a lot of these shows so poor? Coach or athlete responsibility?
oh mate.
It has to be a mixture of both, to be honest. But I think it's person dep obviously it's case dependent
Mhm.
because you can't put it all under one bracket. But um, it's got to be a mix of both. Like either the client is lying to the coach and the
Mhm.
coach knows it but isn't doing anything, or the coach it just isn't taking enough, isn't like taking their client to that place where they're actually going to be lean enough.
It's true though, mate. I think there should be a level when I prep any client, there is a level of conditioning where I will not let them get on stage if they've hit that level of condition relative to the muscle mass that they have. That's really important here. If somebody holds less muscle mass, obviously, we can try and get them really, really lean. It's going to be a little bit harder. They might take a little bit more time, but that's where, as a coach, you give yourself more time with that client in that runway of, and then push them and pull them at the right times. But if my client isn't in the right spot, like I'm not getting them to compete at
No.
the end of the day, like I want them to look back at their prep experience, knowing that they've given 100% and their look was 100% based on what their level that they're at. And I'll
Mhm.
always put that level of expectation on their clients and my clients as well. So not expectations for like I'm not going to say, yeah, you're going to win this show, you're going to be absolutely skinned. I will say you'll be the best of what you can be,
Yeah.
which is really important. Set realistic expectations for your clients, mate. Because you probably heard it many a times, mate. Oh, yeah, I want to win a show. I want to do this. Prep starting. When in actual fact, just be the best version of you, mate, and that's all you can do, really. And then you land where you land. You can't control who's going to be there. Just control the factors that you can do, and that's what we talk about a lot. But I think as a coach, having that realistic expectation of being like, I'm going to bring you in peeled and skinned. That's where we're going to land. And if you fall underneath that criteria, and I think it might be the fact of other coaches might not know what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Like, do you see what I mean? Like, they might be scared to push their client a little bit too much. But I feel like if you have a plan in place and you've done the pre-prep phase well, and you've obviously all these different things, if you've meticulously mapped everything out, prep should be exactly how you want it to.
I
In my,
remember prepping when I was prepping Alex, obviously the first client.
Mhm.
I was somewhat scared to push him because I didn't want to be a dick. But then I remember looking at one of his check-ins and I was thinking, if I'm Alex, if I'm the client in this scenario, I want to do anything it takes to kind of
Yeah.
get where I want to get.
Mm,
Fucking push me. And then at that point, I was like, right, I'm not gonna be scared to push him. Like, just do
mm.
this, do that. Like within reason. Obviously, I'm not gonna be a dickhead, but you need to push your clients. Like that is how you get results. You
Yeah,
have.
mate, it's true. Like to get truly conditioned. First, it takes some
Oh,
sort of a person to do that. It takes a mindset to do that, in my opinion, with getting stage lean and just lean in general. The difference is major, in my opinion. But having a coach there that's going to set realistic expectation of what that level of condition is super important. And making sure you have a client who can communicate effectively in their check-ins and actually adhere to the plan is just as so. This is why it's like having somebody that sets that realistic expectation of like it might suck here, bro,
yeah.
and this person can go, I don't want it, or let's get after it. That's how it's like push and pull, and that's how
Mm.
it works. And this is where people think sometimes, why is my coach doing this? They're doing it for the wrong reasons. The reason why a coach makes a choice at the end of the day is because obviously they have a reason to do so. It might be the wrong one, unfortunately, but they've got a reason to do so. But I do believe that I would say it probably weighs, 'cause let's be honest, mate. For example, if you've got a client continually adhering to the plan, which you should be on prep, and somebody's still coming in unconditioned, that's the coach's fault, in my opinion, because ultimately they should go, you are not at the standard that you should be when you're competing. And like I said, I want my clients to look back when they go on stage going, I looked absolutely nails. But like I said, for example, with Henry's show, his first show, it was 4 weeks before his 3 weeks before his main show. You're not probably going to be 100% here. He knew that. I knew that. Still got first. Came in 100%. Came second. But I gave him a realistic expectation of what he was going to look like, and the look continually got better. I'm not going to say, yeah, bro, you're going to be 100% here. Like I set out the realistic expectation of like the goal is to be about 90% here, and we're going to get that extra 10% within that. And if you map out your phase correctly, you can do that. But if you have a client who continually adheres to the plan 100% and you're still coming off condition, that is the coach's fault. You should tell them, like, I want to do it. You should tell the client, sorry, you should do another show. Give us a few more weeks. We can get you a little bit more dialed in. We can go from there.
Indeed.
Hard conversations with clients are the best ones. It's how you get the most out of somebody, and it is down to the coach to have those hard conversations. You are not ready. Let's get you ready for another show.
Well, that's
Right.
leading on to the next one, which is it pretty much leads on what we were just covering. Setting athlete expectations of what competing actually takes.
A lot more than people realize.
Mhm. I
It's
think it takes everything and more. Like it is an all-consuming entity, is what
Yeah,
prep
no, it is, mate.
is
And
meant.
people say, don't get me wrong, some people conduct themselves really, really well on prep, and that comes from experience. And but you get to a point, mate, where, like I said, I joke around about it, but I would drink my water at the same time. Like,
Mhm.
because you get that upset. If I drop weight, and I'll happily admit this, if I drink a litre and a half bottle of water and I cut it off at 6:45 and I started drinking it at 6, the next day and I drop 2 pounds, telling you right now, mate, I'm stopping my water at 7:45 again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Drinking at the same time because you're so obsessed with trying to get that satisfaction, that gratification from seeing that scale weight go down, where you find these little variables, mate, that just little ticks, and you come up with like honestly, it's like these little habits that you don't even realize. And looking back, mate, I was thinking I would eat the same meal at the same time, obviously, but I'd start drinking my fluids at the same time as well. Like it's just, and then it is it is setting your athlete. Like I said, mate, at the start, you're going to say to him like, mate, I've had literally Lewis, 4,500 calories 3 weeks out, still hungry. Like Tom, finishing his prep on 500 carb. By the way, this isn't for everybody. 500 carb, still hungry. Like it doesn't matter how much food you eat, you're still going to be hungry because you're peeled. So everyone that I've had, you can have their food as high as possible, you can have their expenditure as low as possible, you can have their feet up. They're still going to be starving.
Mhm.
So it's how you can hold on to that, use it in a way where it's there like when I'm hungry, mate, I'm there like, yeah, I love this. I love this. Some people see that as a sign of like, oh God, what's wrong?
Yeah.
So it is definitely much setting that athlete expectation in terms of what I expect from them, what they expect from me, what they're going to expect from me, but also how they're going to feel in that period of time as well. Because it will suck. It sucks to get that lean. It does.
It's not
Like you know, mate.
it's not like easy in any sense of the term. Like it's a very, very difficult endeavor and it's something that requires a lot from you physically and mentally. Mentally, if not mentally, is like sort of the bigger thing that it takes.
Mhm.
Um, but then it's like in the same sort of breath, it's yes, it's so difficult, and yes, it's all of this stuff, but you are also choosing to do it. So it's like I saw something the other day where it was like, oh, bodybuilding is not a sacrifice because people are like, oh, you have to sacrifice so much to bodybuild, and it's like, well, it's not a sacrifice. Sacrifice is something that you're being forced to give up. You're not being
Mhm.
forced to give anything up. You could choose to do everything you still want to do and fit bodybuilding in. Probably not going to be the same, but you're not. No one's forcing you. No one's got a fucking gun to your head. Um, so I don't see it as a sacrifice at all. I see it as a necessary. I don't even know how to say it. A necessary choice.
But it's true.
A choice.
It's
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a
yeah,
choice.
mate. I think the people that say it's I define it as that is, for example, if you go to a wedding, mate, and you take your take your Tupperware. Oh no, it's a sacrifice. No, I'm choosing to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
There's food there for you if you
you
want
see what I
it.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like you can happily go off plan. Like if
Huh?
I'm in prep and I'm 3 weeks out and I've got I had a wedding to go to, right? And I had a wedding to go to. Mate, I took my meals with me. That's not I'm sacrificing the moment there. I'm still there. I'm still present.
Yeah.
But it's not a sacrifice at all. I'm just choosing where my goals are. My goals are to be on stage.
Yeah.
And that's essentially it. I think people sacrifice, they think of sacrifice in that sort of way, where in actual fact, we have goals, just like everybody else. It's just our goals don't mean that we have to eat that food. That's fine.
It's,
I'm happy.
it
I'm happy with that.
really, yeah.
Um, so I think as a coach, definitely getting giving your clients, especially if it's a first timer as well, like just telling them, okay, we're going to do this, and you can have the most perfect plan set in place, but at some point, someone will have a setback. They will have this prep brain, and they will have their prep goggles on and prep, and then they will see some things that you're thinking, what are you on about, bro? Like, but understanding that that's probably going to happen, and understanding that they're normal for that happening as well. That we all have those moments is fine, but just keep trusting your coach and it'll be absolutely fine. But I think as a athlete, you probably have a little bit of responsibility to take it into your own hands to might talk to other people that have prepped and get a little bit of insight on how their prep was, so you can sort of prepare yourself from not only your coach but other people that have had experiences as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I would do that. I have got a drug question. So, 2 IU PM growth hormone currently. Want to take it to 4 IU? Would you go AM PM split 2 and 2 in the off season?
In the off season, see, it might sound a little hypocritical because I do 2 and 2, but that's all I've known from working with Tom. To be fair, after speaking to a few people about it and looking into it, I would rather do 4 p.m.
Yeah,
Uh, if you're not taking it for the fat loss benefit in the morning, like if you're taking it in prep, I can understand why you would put some in the AM. But if you're not taking it for that reason, your longest fasting state of that day is going to be when you're sleeping. You're
it's true, mate.
producing the
It's
most
true.
growth hormone when you're sleeping. Put it in
Mhm.
PM. It makes way more sense to just do it there. If you're going higher than 4, if you're going up to say 6 to 10, obviously a much bigger dose. But if you're going up to 6 to 10, I would go pre, post, bed,
Mm.
something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
or even
man.
post workout and then bed.
Yeah, we
If
can
you
do
want
that,
to do
mate.
it. Um,
Easily. I
I
think,
don't see the benefit to AM unless you're dieting. Saying that I do that, but I don't see the benefit to it, to be fair.
yeah, but the only way I'd probably put split it AM and PM is just if it's like somebody's first time taking it, or we're trying to keep them. Growth hormone is naturally going to be heightened in the morning anyway. So when you're putting in an exogenous amount of growth hormone in when it's already heightened, obviously it's great when it's in a faster state for fat loss benefits. But let's be honest, mate, we all remember our first time taking growth. If we're taking it AM and PM, mate, we feel incredible. We're like, yeah, we're waking up, we're taking it, and then we're feeling full, we're going to bed, and do you know what I mean? Like from a psychological benefit, mate, it's gonna decrease stress. Bro, I remember my first taking, I took 3 IU, one and a half AM, 1.5 PM.
Mm.
Man, I felt like Superman. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm taking it in the morning. I feel brilliant. And then I was saying, I feel fuller in my sessions, which is going to be a byproduct of it anyway. Do you know what I mean? But you can take it all PM. But if you're thinking, okay, I'm taking it twice, it's going to be really, really good. Like
Yeah.
psychologically, just feel great. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But it does make more sense to put it all PM because that's essentially where growth hormones obviously heightening the IGF-1, where obviously more IGF-1 we're going to be obviously going through more building tissue essentially.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And also, if you're looking for, obviously in the off season you want to grow, a big factor of growth is sleep quality.
that's the thing. I mean, it
It
helps
will
sleep pretty
improve your sleep.
massively.
And imagine if you're doing all of it PM, you'll get a lot more of that. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know
for
how much
sure.
specifically, but you'll get
Mhm.
more of a sleep benefit from it.
Yeah,
If
man.
yeah,
But I think when you're doing it in when we're sleeping, when we're actually adapting to what we're doing throughout the day through training,
yeah,
sleep, whack it all pre-bed, brilliant. But if it's your first exposure to it, mate, even though it might not be medically the best in terms of literature and we're all this sort of stuff, I would from a psychological perspective, mate, having an AM and PM brilliant because you're just feeling like Superman all day. Take it in the morning, get in, brilliant. First fasted, go for your walk, feeling brilliant, feeling pumped while you're walking. Next thing you know, you take it pre-bed, you feel like you're waking up bigger. Do you know what I mean? It's
It's good.
just this is what I mean, mate. It's psychologically as well for people. These are the things that make a difference. So, but yeah, I think pre-bed is definitely where it's at, mate. So
Yeah, I would agree so for sure. Do you have
that's
any
funny.
thoughts? Yeah.
I just find it pretty funny, mate, because like I remember taking it AM and I was like, yes, brilliant. But mate, you crack on. You got another one?
Um, Let me pull that up. Keeps closing it every time I fucking go off my phone. Instagram.
Dun, 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 dun. These
Right.
questions are actually pretty good.
This one was from Elliot. So I'm going to give some context to this one. So he's put, how the fuck do you eat shit for more than one day post show? Now, the reason is, so he's gone. When did he compete? He competed on Sunday, so it's Wednesday now. Got home Sunday night. He had, I think he had a Domino's or something Sunday night. Then he
Big
went,
up.
yeah, then he went out for breakfast on Monday morning. I think he had another meal Monday afternoon or evening. And then yesterday and today, he's been messaging me. He's like, I don't know what to do with my food, so I've just gone back on my meal plan. I was like, spot on. There you go. It's so
Yeah,
easy
man.
that it you kind of get acclimatized to those types of foods that you want to go back onto them. Um, to be fair, I was surprised because it is his first prep. I was surprised that he got to that level quite that quickly. Um, but I know for me, for my second prep, I went back to my meal plan almost straight away. I had the additional like snack here and there, but like I was just back on my meal plan. I just wanted more of those foods.
Yeah, the same here, mate. Mate, at the end of the day, we ate those food. We ate these specific foods to get peeled. We like the way we look when we're peeled, right? Obviously, we're going to get that initial spike in scale weight, but mentally, we're going to be like, I'm going to eat those meals that have made me feel good to get to this point. What I've actually enjoyed myself
Yeah.
looking like. I'm going to probably go back to these meals because they made me feel good and about how I looked, but how I felt. Obviously, we're going to have the additional like off plan. I went straight back on my meal plan afterwards, mate. I hadn't after the first show, I had pizza straight back on plan, and then after my second show, I literally went straight back on plan. I had a Miller and Carter, mate, steak and chips, and
Well,
went back on plan. But like when
that's not
the
even
reason,
that's not even like an off plan either.
oh
That's
nah, bro, like
this
I
is
went
just
straight back on.
red meat and potato.
But mate, yeah, and but I knew I had my birthday in like a couple of weeks' time, and I still ended up dropping weight. Brilliant when I came back, but like I said, mate, like, from a psychological perspective, we associate these foods that we've had on prep to liking the way we look. And like I said, mate, in prep, you just look at new lines, and we go back to that normally, mate, because we want to obviously feel like we did back then. So I think it makes you feel good. I went straight back on plan. I don't think that if you continually eat stuff like rubbish, you ended up just going to be a water balloon, and you're going to
Yeah,
hate the
you'd
way
look
you.
like shit and you'd feel like shit.
Yeah, mate. And guess what? It's unhealthy as well. Let's just it's a bigger health. Like you're literally putting yourself at a detriment in terms of your health, blood pressure, like edema, like holding on to fluid. Like, mate, I've seen some people post show where they can literally stick their finger in their calf and it's literally indenting their calf how much fluid they're holding. Like, mate, why would you want that? That's literally unhealthy. It's not like, oh yeah, look at me. It's
Dangerous.
unhealthy. So it is
Dangerous.
dangerous. Like,
I remember when I think Lucy said it to me. She was like, if you can see someone's leg where they can leave fucking finger marks in their legs, imagine what their heart is doing.
mate,
Just because
exactly.
the outside of their body looks like that, the inside's probably worse.
Imagine how much fluid's around their like internal organs. Like blood pressure going to be through the roof. Like, mate, I remember having and Joey, you have like tight socks on, and then you bring your socks off, and you have that little like. Mate, I remember being like a few days post show thinking, mate, I remember having like the faintest of lines, mate, from these tight socks, and I was thinking, nah, not that was my motivation to like. I wasn't even off plan. Do you know what I mean? But I was there like, I'm not having that getting any worse. And it wasn't even that bad looking back at it. So that's why you look at these things and you go, why would I want that when I've just eaten all of these food, all of this food to make myself feel good and obviously not feel good, but like the way I look, not feel good, but obviously having more foods of what's made me look really, really good. I'm just going to eat more of it. Yeah, you might have the odd snack here and there. Man, I remember getting a protein bar or whatever, but at the end of the day, 99% of my meals are going to be the exact same because they made me feel good about how I looked. So they're going to continue that way as well.
Simple.
But yeah, pretty, yeah, that's cool. So I asked you this beforehand, but did you gain any qualifications to coach? I'm currently going through my level two to start coaching myself, but I've had a coach before and felt like I learned more with him than the PT stuff itself.
I have my level two, but I didn't do that in order to become a coach. I did that because it was included in my college course. Um, you don't need any qualifications to be a coach, and that is why the industry is flooded with loads of people, right? Um, you don't need any qualifications to be a coach. Yes, there are things that you can do to separate yourself from the masses in regards to building up knowledge, gaining what's it called, certificates.
So
Like through J3U, you can do stuff like that. Like accredited places you can go to and really, really grow as a coach in terms of knowledge. But direct qualifications in order to be a coach, no, you don't need any.
Mhm.
You will definitely learn more from experience, in my opinion. I think I did start my studying for the level three. I didn't end up doing it. One, because it's fucking expensive. Two, I just didn't really want to because I looked at all of the stuff that they wanted me to learn, and it is ridiculous. Like it is so outdated. It's a joke. I'm pretty sure they haven't changed the syllabus or what you need to learn for the last 2 decades. It's so obsolete that it's a joke. You don't need a majority of that.
I actually ended up doing the level three mix.
Did you do
I
it?
ended up doing my A levels, and then they gave us the option to actually stay on for another year for free if we did the actual level three personal training. And
If I had an option like that, I definitely would
oh
have.
mate, yeah, mate, I think it'd be silly not to, but mate, I could happily, I can. It was literally
Yeah.
nothing. I didn't really gain much from it at all. That's when I started to get into the fact of like, because I thought I was going to go down the PT route, but I thought this ain't for me. This ain't for me. And then after the year after that, I started getting into online coaching, and that's where I sort of learned there is a completely another dimension to this world in terms of like physique development. I know obviously PT isn't directly correlated to physique development, but it's majority going to help people feel better at least. But yeah, man, I learned more from having a coach for sure, but also as well wanting to learn yourself.
Yeah, I
Like,
think we definitely discussed it in one of the other episodes a while ago, where it's like different places you can go to as an up and coming coach in order to grow your knowledge. Um, J3U, for example, members sites like JP, what are the member sites? Physique Collective.
yeah, supplement needs is really, really good as well. J3U, look at podcasts like No Switch Fitness, these look at your favorite person that you like to look up to, okay, and then look at podcasts, see what see what podcasts they've been on. Because when we look at people like Callum Raystrick, Joe Jeffrey, all of these people, Tom Hames, like for example, mate, Tom Hames would have on this, you would see Tom Hames podcasts, we might come up and then he probably might have spoke about something that you didn't know, but because I picked people that I could sort of digest the way they spoke and I got the way they spoke. So I literally typed their name in podcasts, mate. Watch all the podcasts that are on Spotify. Next thing you know, they're talking about female PEDs, they're talking about how to structure off seasons, how to manage post show, diet phases, what's the difference between male and female, like all these different things. And then you're actually learning for the person that you not only can digest like information well off, but also as well somebody that's been there and done it in terms of experience. So there you go. But that's the way I like to learn. Some people might like to be more visual, which I am, but I can happily listen to a podcast and write stuff down, note stuff down, and have it more that way and watch a video if needs be. But it's finding that balance on what you like. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Your question.
Um, right. Have you ever, it, so this is worded really badly, but have you ever slash if you have, comma, ever tested your PEDs before using them?
I haven't, mate.
No, me neither. I do know people who have. I don't know where they've done it, but I think, to be fair, the people that I know have done it are female, which I understand
Yeah,
a
it's
lot more.
Vical. I think it's something like
Is it?
something like Vical or something.
I
X-ray.
think I think the most important type of people to do it would be a female, just so because they're obviously way more. It's a
That's
lot more
true.
important for
Mate,
them.
if you're having a female taking Primo and they're taking test, mate, you can literally ruin their hormone. You can literally get them to viralize
Yeah,
within days, depending on how much dosage they're
yeah.
taking.
Because if you think it's primo and it's not, and
Mate,
you're going off primo doses, and they're
yeah.
taking a test, you're fucked.
Well, there you go, mate. They might be taking Anavar and something else. Like, do you know what I mean? I think as a female,
100%
I'm
do
not.
it.
If I was a female, mate, I'd be testing if I was on PDs, I'd be testing everything,
Mhm.
everything,
A
and
lot of these, a lot of these UGLs have they release like the report for each batch that they get in.
mhm.
Pretty sure they're on Discord or what's it called? Telegram. A lot of these underground labs you can see I don't want to like go into names, but you can see like the reports for every single batch
Mate,
that they do.
I wouldn't even trust it though, mate. If I, honestly, if
No,
I was a female, I would want to pay for it myself. Like, I'd have to get a report based on that, truly that. I couldn't do it off anything else, but I would, yeah, I would definitely get females to get their PDs off a very reliable source or get it tested for sure. But no, I've never tested anything. And I think if you asked anyone else, I don't think they would have either.
no, I wouldn't. I would be surprised how many you'd get saying they have.
You might get some mass that might be some tests, but then next thing you know, you might get some sensitivity and you just might pull it down and then so we're not like females, mate, unfortunately. Males aren't small males. So they are very much in the realm where they can viralize and viralization is irreplaceable. You can't unreverse it. It is unreversible. You can't play a game of Uno, mate, and press the reverse card. We can. Okay, thank you. They can't play that card, mate. They've got +2 cards, +4 cards. It stacks up, right? We can minus that. So we can go, miss a go. Thank you very much. We can come back. They can't miss goes, mate. Every time they're taking something, they're putting +2s, +4s. They're putting the black card,
Stacking
mate.
up.
We're stacking up, mate. We can go, yep, we'll take that back. Thank you very much. We can take the pack and shuffle it up, mate, and just go, yeah, we can just start again. We're cool. They aren't like that, mate. So if anyone says or anyone thinks that females are small males, no, mate. Just think of the Uno card that I just told you. They just keep stacking up. Black card, black card, black card. Maybe the odd +2 thrown in there as well. But no, mate. Telling you that for a fact, mate. And you can minimize how much that is, obviously, by being safe. But then again, everyone viralizes on different dosages. So there you go.
Yeah, indeed. I did get another one actually come through while we were on the pod. Um, which I think will be quite interesting. So when you're done with coaching slash bodybuilding, what is the route you want to take your career?
I would want, okay, so you've got two ways. Love to open a gym. Love to open a gym. Or I would love to help other coaches. I feel like I've been in a position, mate, where like yourself, where I've come not from literally nothing, but I started not through PT, no hybrid clients where they went from PT and transitioned to online. I started from literally, mate, going, I'm going to start an online coaching business. Started from zero and built from the ground up. And I'm not being, I wouldn't want to be this like, these people on Instagram, mate, and trying to get like, I can scale your business. I would just like to make coaches better coaches.
So be like an educator.
Yeah, mate, an educator. There you go. I would like to be
Okay.
an educator in terms of how to not only build your business, but in terms of like knowledge wise as well. Like J3U,
That level.
sort of like, but also like we've also got this in terms of how to be a better coach within a business perspective as well, and how to provide a really good service, what to expect when clients do this, what level of standard and expectation you should set yourself to get where you want to be. Like, I want to cover every realm of coaching
Would you
and gym.
would you ever have it like so you build so it's tailored by Tom? ends up being like a massive, massive, massive coaching brand by the time you're, I don't know, 40, 45.
Will be.
Will be. It gets to that point. It gets there. It gets where you're going, right?
Mhm,
And you're thinking, right, I don't want to directly coach people anymore.
mhm,
Would you ever go down the route of having multiple coaches work for Tailored by Tom as a company and they have separate coaches with all their clients? So Tailored by Tom stays alive.
mhm.
You do your own separate thing, but still own TBT.
Yeah, man. To be fair, mate, like now you've said that, that'll probably be the goal.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not at the top of the chain, but if I'm coaching like five people, like Olympia standard,
Yeah.
and then I'm having like a lifestyle coach, a bodybuilding coach, like female, male, both of those, and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can have like
Have like a train.
educators alongside that, posing coaches. Do you know what I mean? Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Taylor by Tom posing coach, mate. That sounds sick. Like, yeah, I'm their lifestyle coach. Yeah, I'm their bodybuilding competition prep coach.
Mm.
I'm this, I'm that. I deal with
You,
these
you
people.
can literally run everything in-house. Like if one of the lifestyle clients wants to go and learn how to do a bodybuilding posing, send them to him.
Yeah, same to that. That's what they do. Yeah.
All
To be fair,
in-house, everyone's there.
I would like to. Yeah, that's the goal that I'd probably like to get to in terms of if I was to do anything. That's at the end of the day, it's like the same sort of thing where I want coaches to be better. So I'm getting people to get coached by people that I trust and they're becoming better coaches. So but that'll be in every realm, mate, in terms of bodybuilding and physique development. Like I said, like in terms of prep, photo shoot prep,
Mhm.
posing, lifestyle, like all these different things. And I would just be coaching who I want to coach at like a higher level. Because at the end of the day, mate, that is the goal. I want to be coaching people to
Yeah, of
like
course.
level. Like I want to be there in 5 years' time, like 6, 7 years' time, and I'll be coaching them for just over 10 years. So that's the goal. And then building a brand where I've got elite level coaches underneath me. Whoa,
That would be,
completely rephrase that. Not underneath me, with me. Don't work for people, with people to get the best out of them. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
that would be good. So would the gym you open be linked to that, or would that be different?
mate, I was just about to think that. Yeah, bro.
Would it be a ta Taylor by Tom gym?
Yeah, or like something alongside that, mate. Like I wouldn't have put TBT gym sounds pretty crap, but
What would
tailored
it,
by
what
Tom.
would, what would it be?
I don't know, mate.
Tom the
I'd
Tank,
probably
Tom the Tank gym, cookie
Tanks
boxing,
gym.
Tanks
Tanks
gym,
gym.
Tank,
Where'd you train?
Tank,
Tanks.
easy, fucking sick.
That's pretty. Tanks gym.
Just get Eddie Hall to park outside, mate.
Yeah, mate. It is massive.
Tank.
Yeah, tank. There you go. But yeah, man. I think ultimately, mate, if you was to give me like an ideal scenario of how things would turn out when I'm older, that would be probably it. Where I'm working alongside coaches underneath the Taylor by Tom brand with and doing every realm in terms of bodybuilding and lifestyle, and, and then building up to the point where we've got like a hub where that's where they all train. That's where they come to in terms of like pose and that's like the central hub where everything is. And
Yeah,
yeah, man, that's
that
definitely the
would be
sort of
cool.
goal.
That would be cool.
That's pretty cool that you said that, mate. I never actually thought of that. That's cool. Um, yeah. What about yourself? Mate, my mind's going now, but this is what happens when my mind's going like,
Need to write this down.
yeah, mate.
No, I definitely would like to open a gym. I think that would be really cool. Just being able to like hand select kit that you enjoyed growing up with. I'm talking as if when I'm much older, I'd like to open a gym that I would have wanted when I first started training, or maybe like to kind of emulate all the gyms that I enjoyed training at when I was first starting, all into one. So like the atmosphere that I got from the original Kings and the kit choices from Muscleworks Orpington, and kind of like build, in your opinion, the best gym that you can.
The
Uh,
best name for that, mate. Imagine like a nostalgic gym. That's actually like nostalgia. Like I felt like this in this gym. I train like this in this gym from this equipment and this
bring
equipment.
it
It's all
all
like
in.
nostalgic past, and then you just make it nostalgia. Wow, mate, Okay, come to us for anything, mate. Well, I want to help as many people. Next thing you know, we got two little hubs, but now my goal is literally just to help as many people as possible. Um, I want to coach people to the Olympia stage. That is the ultimate goal. But I think for yourself, mate, nostalgic gym.
Yeah, I'd love to do a gym, man. I'd love
That's
to.
cool, man. Like you could say, like what you're trying to actually achieve, like the atmosphere here. This is where I was. This is what I was doing, mate.
What I
That's
would
cool.
in my head, I'd have like pictures around the gym
Yeah, because you
of
want to
like
take
the
people,
original gyms of that
but
I
that's the
want
thing,
to
though.
emulate. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the thing, mate, because what you're doing is you're getting people invested into you and your journey, then they'll come to your gym. Like how many people go to train by JP's gym, not for the equipment, but they go for like the vibe because of what he's been through. He's created English bodybuilding. Like
Mhm.
he has such an impact on bodybuilding that you want to go there. Same with James. Like he's one of the best British bodybuilders to have ever lived. So it's
Mhm.
like you want to go there for that. Then you get the obviously the benefits of the equipment there. Same with yourself. You can have people like going through your whole journey, mate. For example, Temple's gym at Dorian, they'll have like all of his like, oh, this is what I did at 1999, 1996, 1995. Then it's sort of taking you through that journey. And mate, that's pretty cool, bro. You can be like 40 doing getting your pro card and getting your professional wins, and you can be like, this is where I was. Do you know when people like go to Alicante and they go to the Alicante gym that everyone goes to? They might be on like a certain bit of equipment there that they liked, and they go, well, this is what I was using when I was just before I won my pro card at
Prepping
Alicante.
for this show and for that.
Do you know
Like
what I mean, mate? How
everything
cool
has
is
a
that, mate?
backstory. Yeah,
Have
yeah,
like little plaques on the different bits of kit about where you used it, where
yeah.
it was and stuff, mate. What
Yeah,
time it was, what phase you were going through, how many calories you're on. Imagine that, mate. Wow, Connor was on like 1,700 calories, mate, and he was on this like Life Fitness Row, bro. Like this is so
yeah.
cool.
Put a little QR code to each YouTube video.
Yeah, mate.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, and you can say, so guys, I was on this bit of equipment.
yeah.
2000, it's 2050 currently. 2023, I was currently in House of Gains using this pullover.
Yeah.
Well, this is how I felt while using it. I don't know how many calories I was on, but I was taking this and this and this
Yeah,
with my
this was my cycle.
and you using this right now is gonna emulate what I felt like. So imagine you're on this and you have the best set of your life. And mate, imagine that, mate. That's like this is nostalgic. And
It'd
then
be
you
like
can
a
go, oh, mate.
museum rather than a
Yeah.
gym. Be sick.
Oh,
Mate,
that's
someone's
class,
gonna
mate.
steal these ideas. Someone's listening. Someone's gonna fucking steal them.
Yeah, don't best not bloody nick it, mate. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny though. That's good. But now, but like I said, mate, my goal is to help as many people as possible, and your goal is to help people get massive while bringing on them a trip of the life of
Enjoying the
Connor
journey.
Lorne. There you go, mate. But I think that's a good one to end on, bro. To be fair,
Yeah, I like that one.
good one to end on. So, as always, people, we appreciate you tuning into the Q&A episode. If you like and subscribe and can comment, that'll be greatly appreciated. I don't know how many subscribers we are on currently, but I'm going to have a little look
Three
now in the back.
328.
328.
Check just
400 by the end of the year. Let's get 400 by the end of the year. Let's do it. Um, so that's the goal, 400 by the end of the year. And other than that, if you could share it on your Instagram, tag us both, that'd be fantastic. And then obviously in the next episode, if you want us to talk about any topics or questions you have, we'll have a question box and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Boom.